So we're going to go ahead and kick this meeting off with some officer reports. And we're going to go in backwards order from our bylaws. So we're going to start with our parliamentarian, Devin.
Okay, let me pull up my notes quick. So my name is Devin. I graduated from UND in December, board certified in February. As parliamentarian this past year, I kicked off our social media campaign with Song Saturday, and at the beginning of the year, beginning of 2020, transitioned to Conference Tuesday. Towards the end of the year, I reached out to parliamentarians in our region just for a bylaw review, and then ended the year with a review of the Morantas bylaws and revisions. It's just been a joy to serve music therapy students in the Midwestern region and work alongside amazing students for the past 2 years, and I look forward to seeing what the next e-board will do.
Awesome. Thank you, Devin. Let's go on to our treasurer, Jacob.
Hey, good afternoon. So what have I done? I've dealt with all of that green. I know. So we ran 2 different fundraisers this year. One was t-shirts that we did via custom ink, and then the other were these awesome grab bags that we are still promoting, and we'll talk a little bit about later. And then I also ran the hashtag Well Educated Wednesday on social media to talk about internships. And I just want to thank everyone who helped, well, one, make my job easy, but also made all of this a success. You know, us members on the e-board are only so few. It literally takes everyone to make everything a success, so thank you.
Perfect. There we go. Awesome. Thank you, Jacob. Let's move on to our secretary, Emily.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Emily Beach. I am a senior at Drury University, and it has been an honor getting to be the secretary this year. I feel like so much happened, and I was so grateful and thankful that I got to collaborate with an amazing board full of Midwestern students and a bunch of other amazing students in the region that aren't even on the board. So I'm very grateful for all of that. This whole year, I spent all of my time on the board working with meeting minutes, which is what I'm doing right now, by logging all of our ideas and trying to categorically make everything make sense so we can have everything organized, clear, and concise in our database. I also got to do a little bit of scholarship Sundays, hoping that we could find some money for Midwestern students in the region. Also sharing a little bit about a blog about having things in your music therapy toolbox and all different kinds of things. So I'm very grateful for this experience and getting to work with everybody. And I'm so happy that we got to work on this team together. So yeah, and I'll get back to the meeting minutes now.
Great. Thank you so much, Emily. Next, we're going to go on to our vice president, Naomi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Naomi, and I'm a senior at CSU, Colorado State University. This past year has been pretty busy for me. I spent the first part of my term revamping our social media and creating our Instagram account. As of Friday, our Facebook followers grew from 206 to 388, and our Instagram followers grew from 0 to 373. I also spent the first part of this year creating our first ever website, and I spent the year updating it as well as making contributions to our blog as well. I wrote both our fall and spring newsletters, and if you haven't seen those, you can visit those on our website. I'll post the link in the chat. And then I also really collaborated and communicated with the Board of Representatives, which are representatives from each school, on a number of projects throughout the year, including our social media campaign for World Music Therapy Day. And I've been involved with planning and executing this online passages, which has been so much fun to work with the rest of the board on. And I've really just had a blast getting to work with them throughout the year. I'm really excited to see what the next board does.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Naomi. Let's move on to our president-elect, Sidney.
Hey everyone, my name is Sidney Julia Winders. I'm a senior at Drury University, and this year serving as president-elect was so much fun. I assisted Jordan in any of the small duties that she had me do. I assisted in a couple of the social media campaigns. I launched something about vocal health boot camp over the summer. That was my summer project. And then I took on Song Share Saturday. Song Share Saturday, man, say that a couple times while you're muted. And then I also, in that, featured a few different students from the region, which was so much fun to really collaborate and kind of work on inclusivity. I did a couple of more campaigns helping out with like marketing and stuff for this new fundraiser we're doing. And then most importantly, I was just there to figure out how Mariamtas works. Through that, I feel like I have a good head on my shoulders, and I look forward to presidency starting in a couple of hours. And I think that I'm ready, and I'm rocking and rolling as of now.
Yes, I'm so excited for you, Sidney. So if you don't know who I am Jordan. I am the current president of Mariamtas for the next hour. I went to school at Drury University, and then I moved to Virginia to do an internship, and then I ended up staying here. So I became board certified and started working in January as a therapist in Virginia, which means that it is my last Midwest Regional Conference for a while, but that doesn't mean forever. So I want to start my report by saying that I couldn't have even done a little sliver of what I have done this year if it was not for the executive board. So all of these people that you just heard from, they made this board. They worked their butts off to do everything that I asked, every idea that we came up with in our meeting minutes. And not only did they work and propose ideas, but they followed through and saw them through. And honestly is one of the strongest boards I've ever worked with and has made my job as president really easy. So for the Midwest region, since National Conference, the executive board started to fundraise, as we've talked about. We have revised our bylaws, and as you can tell, we have planned the first ever Midwest Regional online passages, which I would like to assume is pretty successful. I, as president, have been in communication with our professional bod to kind of collaborate and make sure that the bridge between professionals and students is a bridge and not a broken platform that you jump from. I've also worked with our board, which is something that we started this year, our Board of Representatives. If you are a Board of Representative member, can you wave your hands so we can see you? So these wonderful, amazing people are representatives from all of our schools in the region. They did so much this year. They met with us at National Conference. Some of them came to our bylaw revision meeting. They have a chat with us where they're in constant communication and giving us resources, but also allowing us to give them resources. And because of them, we're able to reach you guys more successfully. Along with that, we also had a few activities in our region. We had our World Music Therapy Day where we got to celebrate the world of music therapy. We had our Midwest Regional Day at the very beginning. And it has been an honor to be a part of the Midwest region, and I am so incredibly proud because it really is you guys. It's not, one person sitting in front of a screen planning all of this stuff isn't going to do anything. It's the people going out and doing it. So I'm going to give you guys a round of applause because you made this year so successful for us. And so we're going to move on for now. I'm going to ask that you refrain questions until I open the floor for discussion, which I will do so that all of us get a chance to talk and kind of talk about our concerns or questions that we may have. So if you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat, but we will not address it until the floor is open. I'm going to share my screen again so that we can go on to our next agenda item, which is our scholarship winners. So this year in the Midwest region, we had 4 scholarships. We had our student scholars, which they were to present to us an infographic about music therapy. And then we had our President's Scholarship, which is new. And this was presented to someone who wrote a small essay that was reviewed by Shar Carroll, the professional president, and chosen from that. So I'm going to go through these winners. They know who they are, but I really think it's important to highlight them because they did an awesome job. So we're going to start with our President's Scholarship. Our winner for our President's Scholarship was Naomi Davis. So let's all give her a round of applause. So proud of her and everything she's doing. And as a shout out to her and Emily Beach, they actually made it onto AMTAS. So Emily is the new secretary of AMTAS and Naomi is the president-elect. So you guys get to see them around for a little bit longer, which is awesome. Okay, we're gonna go on to our student scholars. We're gonna start with 3rd place. 3rd place was awarded to Miss Sidney Winders from Drury University. So let's give her a round of applause. Good job, good job. We have our 2nd place winner, which is Kara Chappell, and she is from UMKC. So let's give her a round of applause. Yes, and then we have our first place winner, which was Claire Ferguson from UMKC. So let's give her a nice round of applause. Yes, there was a lot of applicants this year, and you guys stood out. We had Shar Carroll judge them, and I'm really impressed with all of it. If you want to see the infographics from the winners, they're on our social media, so feel free to go and see them. I think they're in our newsletter.
Yeah, they're all in the newsletter.
Okay, perfect. So go see them and see how awesome our region is. So let us move on to our next business item, which is remember to go and vote. If you have not voted yet for our officers, go and do it right now, because as soon as we're done going over the budget, I'm closing it. I'm going to kick myself off of this screen so you can't see me, and Dr. Robertson and I are going to go calculate the results. So make sure that if you have not voted, that you vote and you get your vote in, because every vote counts. I can tell you, as I'm watching the votes come in, it's like neck and neck. A lot of these positions are going to be won by one vote. So your vote really does matter. Okay, let's move on to our bylaws. That is another thing I need you to vote on. So we sent out our bylaws to everybody through this survey, and I want you to take a moment and go and review them. So maybe at some point during the meeting, multitask a little bit if you haven't voted already, and read through these bylaws and make sure that they're the bylaws that represent you, because that's most important. We want to make sure that we're representing the Midwest region the best way we can, and that's why we revise our bylaws every year. But that is also in the chat for you to go and check out. Okay, let's move on to our budget. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let our fabulous treasurer talk about our current budget and then our proposed budget.
Right, so what you can see on the screen here is our current budget. That's what we had to do over the year. Clearly there's a lot of red. And I'm not gonna, beat around the bush. Is we kind of had a flop with the national conference t-shirts. We didn't sell enough via custom ink. And the nice thing was, because we did that, we didn't actually lose any money, but we didn't also gain. So we had a lot of, like I said, red. The biggest thing there is that website development purchase, and I think it's honestly paid off, and I think everyone on the board can say that. Everything else has just been for merchandise, and you can see the second merchandise sales there have been a killer success. So much that we decided to do it again, and I will talk about that here in a minute. But if you want to go to the next proposed. Thank you. Yes, so here's my proposed for you guys next year. Any money that we make from the current grab bag fundraiser is actually going to go to next year's board, not us. And that goes towards your guys' scholarships as well. You'll see, again, the website purchase, the president reimbursement you didn't see from last year. There was an extenuating circumstance where we made that into a scholarship. But that's for the president to go to national conference and get it paid for. So I'm estimating you guys will make about 600 in a new merchandise fundraiser for national conference, and then some kind of event fundraiser for regionals, you'll make about 500. And that's my proposed. I think it works really well to do one merchandise and then one event, but that is up for debate, I guess. So then do we need a motion to?
Yes, so I was about to unmute myself. We do need, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pre-curse it before I make the motion, is we're actually gonna vote live and see how this works.